In these next few pages, we explain what a reserve study is, what it does, and how we use the National Reserve Study Standards 4-part test to determine which projects at your association are considered appropriate for reserve funding. On the next page is a thermometer graphic that describes the 3 different ranges of reserve fund strength. As we mentioned earlier, the reserve fund strength of your association, remember it was listed in the 3-minute executive summary, is a very important number. Now would be a good time for you to mark where your association's percent funded falls on the thermometer scale and begin to understand the implications. If your association falls into the strong 70 to 130% funded range, congratulations! Associations in this strong range benefit from knowing that special assessments and deferred maintenance will be rare. If your percent funded is in the fair or weak 0 to 70% funded range, your association is underfunded. The lower you go, the more your association is at risk of undesirable consequences: a special assessment in order to perform repair and replacements in a timely manner, loans, or deferred maintenance. By now you can see that reserve studies are based on lots of mathematical data. In the rest of the report, we'll use figures and tables to effectively communicate the significance of all these numbers. On page 5, you'll see Figure 1, a graph showing your annual reserve expenses through 30 years. We call this your association's fingerprint because it's unique to each association. Most associations have a few large expense years scattered among low expense years. Figure 1 allows you to see the association's big expense years many years in advance. Figure 2 on the next page is a graphical representation of the 30-year funding plan, comparing our funding plan recommendations to your current rate of funding. The funding plan recommendation shows the funds necessary to offset ongoing common area deterioration. That translates to being able to accomplish all repair and replacement projects on time, according to the schedule established by your component list. On the next page are 2 related figures. In both figures, the vertical axis represents your reserve fund. In Figure 3, the one at the top of the page, the reserve fund is measured in dollars. In Figure 4 at the bottom of the page, your reserve fund is measured in percent funded. It's just 2 ways of displaying the same information. Well, let's take a closer look. Figure 3 contains data for 2 scenarios: our recommended funding plan, shown by the green dots, and the association's current rate of funding, shown by the red dots, compared to a fully funded target, which is shown by the purple bars. As you can see, the dollar balances go up and down over the years as reserve funds are accumulated and spent. The key thing to avoid in any of the scenarios is running out of money or, in some rare cases, over-accumulating. Figure 4 paints a similar picture, comparing our recommended funding plan, again in the green dots, and the association's current rate of funding, the red dots. Just like in Figure 3, the percent funded floats up and down over the years as reserve funds are accumulated and spent. You'll also notice that our recommendation will always move in the direction of being fully funded, that is, 100% funded, with time. Our objective is to move our clients out of the 0 to 30% danger zone, if that's where they find themselves, into the 30 to 70% fair range and eventually stabilizing in the 70 to 130% strong range. Take a moment to compare the red path to the green path on your report. That comparison allows you to see exactly how close or far off the association is from a plan that will support the scope and schedule of the component list. The report contains numerous additional tables, like Table 2, the component list detail table, showing component quantities and our best and worst case replacement cost estimates. This represents the range between which we expect the actual cost experience of your association to fall. Table 3 is designed primarily for your accountant, and Table 4 is a nice summary of your 30-year funding plan. Table 5 shows the 30-year income and expense details. I hope this has been helpful in explaining the figures and tables contained in your reserve study. If your association is underfunded, that is, the association's percent funded is in the 0 to 70% range, or if it contained a recommendation for a special assessment, just follow the link to the video. If you have further questions, we encourage you to visit our Learning Center, where you'll find a rich library of written and videotaped resources. And finally, if you have any feedback, please follow the link to a short survey. On behalf of the entire Association Reserves team, thank you again for choosing Association Reserves as your reserve planning partner. It's been our pleasure to work with your association to assemble this information so informed budget decisions can be made and accurate disclosures provided to your current and prospective members. We look forward to working with you again the next time we update your association's reserve study.